Hey everybody, my name is Gabe Turner from GabeTurner.com, and I played sax professionally and for a number of years, and I also on the side played on the street busking. And there was a season of time, about 5 years, I was traveling a lot and I was living in lots of different places, so I got a lot of experience. It was nice to kind of have to be able to just pop out my horn in a busy area and start playing and be able to make a little money. And so I know that people are curious about being a busker, and how do you do it? What are some tips? I'm just going to share. By no means I'm not a professional busker who does it full time, and I know there's lots of other people that probably have some other tips, but I want to share some of the tips I've learned, and if you're looking to get into it, this might help. So let me see. First of all, you have to go to where there's people, and if you don't, it's just going to be it's not going to be fun. I mean, if you're just starting out, maybe you could, and you're nervous or something, maybe go to where there's a smaller crowd of people, or if whatever, it just to get your foot in the water. But pretty soon you're going to want to get to where there's people, and because man, when that money starts getting in your case, it's exciting and it definitely motivates you to keep going. And I know there were times where I was tired and I wanted to stop, and then people started putting money in my case. I was like, oh yeah, and so I stayed for another hour, and then I stayed for another hour. It's like, wow, I can play a long time. I didn't realize how motivating this is. It is motivating. It's awesome. So but you won't get that unless you're in front of a lot of people. So in order to get in front of a lot of people, of course, there's lots of other buskers and people who are doing things for money, and so you've got to figure out how to do that. And sometimes you need to ask a busker, like wait to be in between songs or something, and just say, hey, what's the deal? What do you guys do around here? How long is your spot open? Is there somebody? A lot of times people will reserve the spot. Like there's kind of a code between the musicians. A lot of people that, these are areas where there's buskers that have been working these corners and stuff for a while, and so they kind of have an understanding. Or they have friends or whatever, then they'll say, okay, I get it for 2 hours, then you get it for 2 hours, and whatever, stuff like that. And so don't bust in on them, be nice. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, just be cool, and it'll work out, but you really do, you need to be flexible and you need to be patient, which is kind of annoying, especially if you've driven a half hour and you've used your gas money and stuff to get there. You've lugged your horn or your instruments out there. That's just the life of a musician, man. So you got to be patient and you got to wait around a lot. It depends, but sometimes you will more than others. So yeah, next thing is, the other thing is, as far as your spot, now some cities, some places, some parts of cities and stuff will make you have a permit or something like that, and you might even have to audition for it or apply for it, and sometimes it's a big hassle. I only applied for one once, and it was for San Diego Balboa Park, and I only used it twice. It was a lost cause, but anyway, some cities make you do that, and I would say just go look at other musicians' cases and see if they have a permit sitting in their case or something like that, or just talk to somebody who looks like they've been around for a while and ask them, and they'll probably let you know what's up. So I know that when I was doing this between 97 and 2001, and I didn't have to do that. I would just recommend, if you don't know, just start playing and be cool. You know what? A policeman will probably come up eventually, and if there's a problem, and let you know. And then be nice. Don't argue with them, and just be nice. And if they say, "Yeah, you can't do this here," and you say, "Okay, sorry, I didn't know," just apologize and ask. Just go for it and ask forgiveness later. Just claim that you don't know. So just go for it. But if you know that it's not cool, if it's against the law, or don't do it. Just go figure out where other people are doing it and do what you need to do. So the other thing is, I would say, for me, this is what I did. I made a song list of all the songs that I could possibly think that I could play. And I came up with a list. I had like a front and back page of an 8.5 by 11 sheet that I would keep in my pocket folded up. and I would play as long as I could, remembering the songs that just, you know, and then when I got stumped, I would pull out my list to glance at my song list for a minute and figure, okay, oh, now my mind is refreshed. I've got all these other songs in my head, and so I would go for another 20 minutes or whatever, and yeah, and that's what I did. I just kind of rambled through a bunch of standard jazz standards and any other song that I thought sounded good. And I would say also, you will have luck if you play crowd pleasing songs. Play songs that the average person likes. I know sometimes that stinks, but find songs that you like, that you know lots of people like. Like, man, I would play, like when a little kid comes by, I'll place the Sesame Street song. Or the Mr. Rogers song or something like that. And I, you know, do a jazz version of it, just kind of make it fun, you know, whatever. You know, and I would dance around. Remember, you're a performer too, you know. Milk the crowd, man, work it. And these are kind of things I just kind of naturally knew, because I kind of grew up in a theater family, and I just kind of was like, you gotta present yourself well, you gotta stand right, you gotta, you know, performance skills. This is a great place to hone performance skills. Maybe not great, but it's pretty good. Where else are you going to get in front of a lot of people on a daily basis and play and put yourself out there? So just, you know, you're a performer. No matter what you are, you're a guitar player, you're a singer, you're a horn player, or whatever. Perform. You know, perform for the crowd. You know, give it to them. You know, perform. Pretend you're on stage in a big hall or something, and these people paid to see you. If you want them to pay you money, give them what they want. You know, entertain them. You're an entertainer. And so, you know, I just see so many people just sitting there kind of picking away at their guitar and totally ignoring the crowd. And I mean, I bet you could probably get more money if you just, you know, livened up a little bit, put a little more life in your face, smile, look at the crowd, whatever. Maybe even chat with them a little bit, or, you know, take some requests. If you're at the level where you can take requests, I mean, I was at the level where I could kind of take requests, and like, I can play by ear, I can remember stuff, and so it was just like, yeah, I would attempt some requests sometimes, and you know what, they give you money when you do that. So make the audience happy. That's your job. And that, I mean, if you make them happy, they will make you happy by giving you money and applause and everything. So, and it's great, and that just gives you energy to keep on going and keep on going. So other thing, let's see, it's good to go for a great spot. Like, if you can find a spot that has good acoustics. Like, I was playing my horn, so it's already pretty loud, but I would usually play in this one spot across from this hotel building, and man, it would echo off, and man, the sound was huge, and it was big, and that's great. I mean, certain instruments definitely have to think about that more, especially if you're a singer. Yeah, I mean, your voice doesn't carry as, you know, as far as a saxophone sound, so, you know, you have to think about these things. So some spots are better than others, and so yeah, let's see. I had this one story. This will show you what kind of difference there is between what kind of instruments you're playing. I've got a solo sax. It's not very lucrative, really, in the busking world. But I would say one of the best instruments I came across was bucket drummers. Those guys kill it. I mean, I saw a lot of hacks out there that didn't really do that great. They just play one beat, and they would just play it forever. And it was just boring. That's not cool. But you know what? They would make money. But you know what? The good bucket drummers, these are guys who really know how to drum. Really good drummers. I mean, they would get a whole set up with pans and everything, and man, they rake it in. And if you are a drummer, you're letting money go daily if you do not know how to bucket drum. If you want to do that and you live in a place where there's people going by all the time, you can make a living doing that, at least from what I saw in my time. Now, I'll tell you this story. I was in Park Street Red Line Station in Boston, and I was playing, and I was doing okay. You know, I probably made $40 or something. in a few hours. And I had this guy come up to me, a bucket drummer, had his little cart with all his buckets and stuff, and he said, "Hey man, how much longer are you gonna be here?" And I said, "Well, I'm kind of getting tired, so I'll maybe a little while longer." Say, "Well, hey, um, can I play for the next crowd, and I'll just give you that that amount, whatever I make in that for that crowd, and then I can take the spot." And as I said, "Well, sounds great to me." So he played, he set up, I stopped playing, and he played for the next crowd, and he just made like $30, $40. It was ridiculous. Maybe not that. Maybe it was 20 to $30. It was awesome. Like as much money as I made in 2 hours, he made it in one crowd in like a minute or 2 minutes. And oh man, I was like, dude, what am I doing playing the sax? Why didn't I play the drums? Anyway, that's kind of some of my experience, and I just thought I'd share it with you. Some people find it interesting, and I hope, there's probably lots of people out there who want to play or are curious about maybe starting to go busking stuff. I made some other videos on this topic if you want to check out my other videos, and I've done some blog posts on it, so check out the blog links below. And good luck on your busking. All right, bye.